Hello, welcome back to Psieros.Psychic.Signs. I do apologise for my physical appearance today. I've got massively bad hay fever and I just feel like, my whole face is like, bleh. Okay, so moving quickly to the point of this video, which is I just want to show one of my earlier predictions coming true again. Now I've had a big thing about thick black smoke. If you look at my video about the Hawaii volcano, I mention it in there, but my biggest mention of it is a video where I talk about global predictions. It's about 35-minute long video, all about various different predictions. One of the main ones was about thick black smoke, and I talk about it being it's a symbolic expression of the throat chakra of humanity and the globe clearing itself. And it tied into a period in my life personally where I gave up smoking. And so the way I came to this psychic prediction or this understanding was as I was clearing my own throat chakra, giving up smoking, I felt this sense in my aura of this vast expression of thick black smoke pouring out of my throat and pouring out of my back and my neck, just clouds and clouds and clouds of this thick black smoke feeling. And I realized that it wasn't just from me, that there was that I was seeing this image in the news as well. I was seeing fires with thick black smoke going on, and it was like it didn't seem to correspond just because I was quitting smoking. It was like there's something else in there. I could feel there's like something more to it than just it being about me. So I made a prediction because I feel like the things that go on inside my body, as I listen to my body and tune into what the body is saying, what noises it's making, what rumbles here and there, how it feels day to day, and longer term how it's feeling. So my body is tense and then relaxed and things like this, and it's like tuning into the deeper undercurrents of what is the whole world going through, and especially when it doesn't seem to be necessarily related to anything that's going on in my life at the time. So this thick black smoke thing came at a point that I thought is this really just only about me and the smoking, or is this about other things as well? Anyway, I occasionally look at the news and see what's going on, and today down the bottom of the page on BBC News, we have this thing which is like thick black smoke ahoy. This is huge fire at Germany's largest theme park. And I mentioned, right, there's no casualties in this, but this has the symbology of massive thick black smoke. Hopefully I'm not going to get busted for having this in the background. But look at that, for thick black smoke. And this, Jesus, that's intense. It's massive.
The fire is getting bigger and we can feel it.
And as I say, there's been no casualties to that. Someone had minor injuries on the fire squad, the fire team, fire brigade, whatever you call it, and no one was killed, no one else was injured. So I have mentioned that these global events, these large scale events, the volcano thing I've mentioned is not going to be particularly harmful to humans. I think that people are scared when you imagine a volcano, everyone's gonna die. And particularly on these ones, I don't know why exactly, but they feel not completely harmless, but mainly harmless to actual people. I mean, people are losing their homes and stuff, but physically people aren't going to be injured. There may be some here and there, and again, if this is wrong, I do really apologize, but my feeling and my sense is that this is not to do with like God punishing us or anything. This is just the planet and humanity as a collective letting off this steam of anger, letting out this negativity, releasing all this fire and it's like this toxic feeling of repression in the throat chakra, and it's being expressed in a wide form. Yeah, so let's go back to this, because this is like exactly how I felt it to be, and I feel that there's still more to it than this as well. So it's not just, this is like not the end of it. Basically, there's going to be a few more, but this is probably the biggest one. This if you look it up, it happened in Europa-Park in Rust, southern Germany. I'm probably saying all that, pronouncing that badly. It happened on Saturday, so yesterday. Well, actually, it's Monday at the moment, so whatever. It happened a couple of days ago, Saturday, 27th of May. So have a look at this online, and we'll see what's going on here. Look at that, eh? If that's not thick black smoke, then I don't know what is. And that feels exactly like the sensation that I had that I made a prediction. Kind of going up into the air, and it's going out at an angle as well. And it's thick, and it's black, and it's smoke. I want to look into this one a bit more as to like what caused the fire. That's the proper like sensation that I was getting beforehand. So yeah, because I mentioned in the prediction videos, I was saying like, it feels like it might be from oil or something, whatever, for whatever reason, like whatever substance the fire is coming from, it has to produce thick black smoke, because that's the image, that's the premonition that I'm getting, and the feeling, the sensation of it, and this like smell as well. Ugh, it's like a burning rubber smell. So maybe there'll be some burning rubber fires as well. I don't know. Maybe there'll be some kind of fire in a tire factory or in a tire yard or something. Tire yard, yeah, maybe that's coming up into my consciousness. There is a certain thing about tires and burning rubber that might happen. So you might see fires in tire yard come into the news. Thick black smoke again. Yeah, I'm feeling maybe oil. I just like feel oil and gas. I don't know if does gas make thick black smoke? I don't know. I mean, the science behind me is not great. Petrol, oil, stuff like this, diesel fire, stuff like this. You're going to see that kind of pollutey type of feeling. Yeah. So those are my predictions. And I just wanted to show you that some of them are actually accurate. I feel like I'm trying to prove myself a little bit here, but you know, on another angle, I don't really care if you believe me or not, but I'm glad that I'm getting it right, and I would like to think that somehow, if there's anything that can be prevented in the future by me predicting this stuff, and if people listen, then good. If you want to think about the Hawaii volcano, my prediction for this is that it's still going, it's still erupting, but I don't think the volcano is satisfied with itself. This makes sound strange, but I don't think the volcano is satisfied with the amount that it's pumped out. I feel like it's got a globule to go like that, and nothing amazingly powerful. It's not like a big eruption that's going to happen, but there's a big globule of stuff that's just going to like that, and it either that'll be the end, or there'll be a bit more just sort of low level stuff afterwards. It's really not satisfied. It's like a burp. The volcano wants to burp. It wants to go like that, and to like puke up this kind of giant. It's going to be big, but it's not like explosive. I feel it to be like you know, it's like a vomit of but not a massive explosion. It's more like a blah. That's what I'm getting from that. I'm gonna do that again. Blah. You know, it's like a big, like a sort of round bulb of magma type stuff, and it's kind of stuck at the moment, and it wants to rise up, and it wants to kind of just flop out into the world and just be, that's it, you know, and kind of chill out after that point. So I know it sounds crazy, but that's the sense I get just from watching the volcano. You know, I tune into its energy, I tune into it psychically somehow, and I feel like if I was that volcano, then that's how I'm feeling. So I am that volcano on a certain level, in the sense that we're all connected and we're all one being. I sense that if I'm that volcano, I know that I'm not satisfied with myself as that volcano. So I feel like, yeah, okay, I'm doing all this like blom, 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 and I'm destroying some trees and I'm destroying people's cars and houses and stuff. But I'm like, I want to give a big, it's like a big offering. It's a bit like pregnancy. I think the volcano is kind of pregnant. It wants to just birth this final thing, a big blob of stuff. Not destructive necessarily. It might look pretty afterwards. It might look like something beautiful that once this blob comes out. There's a big thing and it's trying to rise and it's like going, it's doing this kind of stuff there, and it wants to just kind of bring it big up and out and then rest and then like move on from there. So, you know, whatever comes out of it is something new. So that's my impression of the current situation in the Hawaii Kilauea volcano. We've got more thick black smoke to come, but I think that one's coming down now, because that was the biggest one I've seen, and I haven't had any, like, since I had the premonition of the biggest one, the biggest thick black smoke thing, it then tapered down afterwards. So you've got that has happened, the biggest one there, and there was maybe another one or two of the same bigness, but nothing got bigger than that. So you might have a couple of big fires again. No kind of human casualties, or very limited human harm from them. So I wouldn't be too afraid. It's just one to watch. My God, that could be the volcano trying to. Yeah. So that's those predictions. There's still this kind of slidey mudslide things, and maybe I'm just not doing my research on it. You know, normally if I just Google it, I will find it. But normally it kind of is there anyway. It's just there on the news. I don't have to like go searching for it. I just type into the news, or I just go to the news page, BBC News or whatever, and see what's going on. And then there's there's today's thick black smoke, or there's this week's thick black smoke. And you could say, oh well, you're not really predicting it, you're just collecting evidence for a theory that you already decided upon, so therefore you're only just validating beliefs that you already have. So you weren't really predicting it, you're just combining evidence of a story that you already hold, so it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy or whatever. Fine, I don't care. The way I see it is, I felt something coming, and then I saw it happen, so that's how I understand it. I can't really be bothered to try and convince you that it's true or not. You know, I feel it to be true. It seems to be true. You know, believe it or don't believe it. But if I do come up with a prediction that suggests that you may be in actual danger at some point, then I think it would be wise to listen. But, you know, whatever, do what you like. So, what else do we have? That's it. I don't know what's the deal with the landslidey things. There is a sense of like shifting things that hasn't come to pass, or I haven't sort of seen it yet. Shifting ground, shifting ground thing. And get a sense as well of mass migration. There's mass migration happening. Mass migration. Shifting ground is different though. There's two different things. Mass migration is like people are suddenly changing place. Lots of them. I feel like a sense of rushing as well. People are rushing from one place to another. That's kind of still underdeveloped. That's not really, you know, that's a new one. But yeah, so that's in there. And maybe it's a long-term thing. Maybe that's something to do with the changing European Union stuff. Maybe it's to do with that. I don't know, or to do with the Middle East. I'm not really sure. Yeah. Okay. Another thing. I feel like maybe terrorism is starting to be pulled off the agenda, as in the terrorists are just like, they're having enough now. Right, that's a subtle new one. But I feel it like could be possible that there was a lot of terrorist activity for a while. Now there's a lessening of it overall. It's just like it's resting. It's like that's how I feel with the terrorism. It's like calming down. Like, okay, we don't need to do that anymore. From the terrorist point of view, and as a collective, it's like it almost feels like maybe they've made their point in some way, that they feel heard in a certain sense, that this terrorism thing's sort of like, okay, it's still there, right? But it's like less. I feel it to be calming. I feel it to be kind of, as a collective, we have grieved a lot about terrorism. We have suffered a lot of death. We have gone through a lot of drama. We've gone through a lot of trauma. We've gone through a lot of injury. We've gone through a lot of death again. And we are now grieving. We're still grieving about this. It's still a wide issue. But there's something subtle. Something subtle has changed about it. It's the overall collectively. So, this is a very impersonal reading. So I understand if you feel personally affected or annoyed by what I'm saying, because I'm not treating this as a personal issue. I'm just a very kind of generalized, very impersonal. So if you're caught in the middle of any of these things I'm predicting, I'm really sorry. This is the sense that I get of what is happening overall, globally, on a wide scale. So yeah, I just feel a sense of terrorism. It's kind of calming down, and that's overall a good thing. But if you've been affected by terrorism, this is probably not the video for you. Anyway, okay, I think that's about it. Thanks very much for watching Psieros.Psychic.Signs. I have been taking the name of Psieros for this video, and I've got various other channels, which I won't tell you about just yet. I'll save it as a secret surprise. And my back hurts. But yeah, I've got other channels, so I will let you know about them in the future. Bye.